activity called the 6 name tags activity, talking about the 1950s. So everyone in here in just a few minutes is going to be getting a name tag, and basically what we're doing, we're talking about some of the 1950s culture era. Pretty much, you guys all just got a skip bow card. Now, depending on what your card is, that's going to tell you a little bit about who your role is going to be. If you receive the card that just says straight skip bow, like if you'll hold that up for me real quick, thank you. If you've got the skip bow itself card, you are in the McCarthy era group. You are going to be the people who are supporters of McCarthy. If you're someone who received a purple skip bow card, you are going to be a civil rights leader. If you received a pink card, as would make sense, you are going to be a woman during this era. And if you received a green card, you are going to be receiving the role of the counterculture. So, based on your assigned perspective, in just a minute, you guys are going to get into groups, and we're going to have you guys play different roles. Essentially, what's going to happen here is you guys are going to fill this out, and hang on one second, let me open it up in the new tab. No, I'm not opening up in the new tab. Okay. Pretty much what you guys are going to do, depending on what your group is, you are going to be talking about what your thoughts are on each of these different issues. We've got on here communism. Now think about this. If you're someone who's interested and follows McCarthy, what are you going to think about communism?
I hate communism. Communism is bad.
If you're a civil rights leader, you might have some different thoughts on this one. If you're a woman, you might have some different thoughts on it. So it just depends on what your role is. Now within your groups, the way this is going to work, you guys are going to be filling this out, and it's a collaborative effort I think you guys are going to have fun with, based on whatever name tag you get. And I've got sticky notes because we've run out of name tags, but that's all right. Depending on what your sticky note is you receive, it is going to tell you what you're going to be talking about in this perspective. So if you're talking about communism and you receive a blue sticky note, you're going to be talking about thinking. What kind of thinking about knowing the knowledge of what communism is and what your thoughts are depending on your perspective is needed? Same thing with when we get to creativity. You're thinking of different solutions for what we could do, and depending on what your perspective is, you might have some thoughts on what that is. Now, keep in mind, guys, as we're going, I think you're going to probably need to know a little bit about what your interest group is, don't you? Yeah, so we'll have you guys in groups so we can go through these. So let's keep going. If you have a white sticky note, this is going to be what do you know, what do you need to find out? What information and data, what facts do we need to know? If we're talking about something like communism, what might we need to know? The same thing when we talk about the benefits. Why might certain ideas be useful? Again, if you're someone who's with the McCarthy group, it's going to be a little different way you're thinking here. Feelings. What are your feelings about something like communism? And what are your cautions when it comes to communism? So you're going to do that for a few different topics on here. We've got, let's see, communism, we've got voting rights, we've got segregation, and we've got one other one. I believe it's women's rights. So you guys are going to be going through. All you're going to do is if you're someone who has, let's say you got a yellow sticky note. What you're going to do is you're going to go through talking with your groups, talking about the benefits of communism. Are there any? Then you're going to go to the next topic, women's rights. What are the benefits of women's rights? But again, it's according to whatever group you guys are a part of. Okay? Now we'll keep going over this as we get into this. What I want you guys to do now, we're going to go ahead and split you guys up. So, if you are in the group that is about McCarthy, I want you to go ahead to this side of the room. Okay? Peter, raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So, you're going to go to this side of the room. If you are a group that is talking about women, we're going to have us over on this side of the room over here. If you're a group that's a civil rights leader, we're going to have you on this side of the room over here. And then my last group are counterculture. You guys can be on that side of the room back there. Once you're in your groups, I'm gonna come up and give you guys sticky notes. Everyone's gonna get a different color sticky note in your group, okay? So let's start that off. Let's go ahead into our different areas.